Older adults are at a higher risk of mental, physical health challenges such as diabetes, dementia, cardiovascular issues, and Alzheimer's. It is projected that the population of older adults is going to get up to about 16.9 million. That's the revised numbers from the National Bureau of Statistics. And with this number, by 2050, we're going to be having more vulnerable people in our society. Is Nigeria prepared to accommodate this large number of people with these challenges? Are there adequate facilities, amenities in place to deal with these various needs? Hello, welcome to 65. I am Dr. Stella Ayamara Dorgu, your host. My guest today, you can see me smiling, I'm grinning from ear to ear, is a friend, a sister, Iyom Josephine Anenih, MNI. Iyom is a gender and development expert with over 40 years experience in legal, humanitarian, gender, and political affairs at national and international levels within the public and private sectors. Iyom, like I introduced her, MNI, a member of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management, co-founder of Women Foundation of Nigeria, WFM, which is equipped to look at women issues or to have women engage more in politics. Iyom is also the founder and president of Alzheimer's Disease Foundation, ADF, which is an oasis for safety, security, fun, and community support for healthy aging in Amobia in Anambra State. You're welcome.
Thank you.
In October 2024, just recently, Iyom received a distinguished age-friendly humanitarian service and elder justice advocacy award from the National Senior Citizen Center. This award is a testament to her outstanding work in fostering elderly care and opportunities for inclusion, participation, and respect for older persons. And today, we'll be delving into some of the unique health challenges that older people face. We'll also be discussing strategies to create a society where the contributions of older persons are respected and valued so that they can continually engage and live fulfilling lives. Congratulations, my sister Iyom, on that wonderful award.
Thank you.
There are myriad of health challenges, social challenges, mental challenges that come with aging, from the simple inability to pick up something, go into a room and you've forgotten why you entered the room, various kinds of arthritis, rheumatoid, osteoporosis, the dowager's hump, breast cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer. What prompted you to choose Alzheimer's as a focus for your care delivery?
Personal, very, very personal. Alzheimer's hit me on a very personal level. And my junior brother had Alzheimer's. Before he had the diagnosis, It was in and out of hospitals, investigating all sorts of things for years. We didn't know that it was the Alzheimer's that he was dealing with until finally he got a diagnosis that it was Alzheimer's. And by the time he got this diagnosis, it was already in the maybe middle stage. And caring for him fell on me as his principal caregiver, because the family, the wife, the children, the community, nobody understood what was going on. Nobody ever heard what Alzheimer's was, or even dementia. You know, people notice people with dementia, they used to call it senile dementia then, and it used to be associated with very old people. And they would say, oh, it's a disease of old people. So to find a young man who was in his 40s, you know, manifesting those symptoms, there was no link, there was no connection, nobody suspected. And the thing went on, you know, progressed, because dementia, Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. Yes. It's a form of dementia, and it's a progressive degenerative disease. So it kept on going on. And so when I became his primary caregiver after the diagnosis, I had to go and find out what it meant, what is it. So I read a lot, I took online courses and all that. So I now became very, you know, versed in dementia, and I could understand it, and it equipped me to to be in a better position to look after him better. So that was what actually took me there. And with hindsight, when I knew the factors, you know, the predisposing factors that, yes, you know, can cause Alzheimer's, I found that genetics is one of them. Yes. And looking back, you know, back, I now saw some of my aunties and uncles, and, you know, that were behaving the way he's now behaving. I said, oh, that could have been Alzheimer's. So in my research, I found that Alzheimer's, you can have what you call early onset. Yes. So it doesn't have to be only old people. Yes. You don't, because normally you think it's from people from 60 upwards or 65 upwards. So you can have early onset Alzheimer's. And research has even found further that there is young childhood Alzheimer's. Wow. So I have a friend in Namibia, Barry, who is into childhood Alzheimer's. He's found so many people who are children who have Alzheimer's, young people who have Alzheimer's. So that's what it is. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. We have some numbers, but it's not important. It's just that, how prevalent is this in Nigeria? Yeah, it is quite prevalent, but you know, we don't have data. We don't write down things. It's only now that we are people are now consciously trying to put down the data so that we do not make any mistake or give false data. Some investigations had been done in the past, you know, in the sub-Saharan, was the prevalence of dementia in sub-Saharan Africa. Some professors have even, you know, done some research in Nigeria, yes, I think in northern Nigeria, yes, and all that. But I will not say that Nigeria now can tell you what it is, because we really need to put all this together. A lot of people have developed interest in the research, and so we are collating. We even have, you know, groups now. We are trying to even have a dementia policy for Nigeria.
That will be brain health
yes. Policy. Mm. So we have a committee. We are all working on that. So in the next few months, few years, we can be sure, that we know what we are talking about. But without, without seeing it in print, seeing it on the field in practice, we know that we have we have a lot of cases.
Yes.
And now people are understanding that it is a disease. It is a disease, Alzheimer's disease. Mm. That was what made me found Alzheimer's Disease Foundation, yes. So that we can create awareness, we can sensitize people, we can do research, we can do advocacy, and we can help people living with dementia and their families. We can train caregivers, because it's not just caregivers for older persons, or you want to say geriatric caregivers. Caregivers for people with dementia, living with dementia and Alzheimer's, need special training.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're on to 65. I'm happy about the fact that we're getting into the area of research, because I did read something, and they're talking about some percentages, although it's neither here nor there, but it's good that with those percentages, 3.9 to 5 point something for early ages in the 60s, and then 15% for people over 90. Those are sobering. It's really sobering, but we're still at the bottom of the totem pole, it seems. Maybe because we have not done enough research. When you were talking, you talked about some of the symptoms, some of the ways that your brother manifested, was behaving, that in hindsight you saw with some of your older aunties and things like that. Tell us, what are some of the things that we need to look out for when we're talking about dementia onset and Alzheimer's? What are the things? What should we be looking out for? Is it just twitching, handshaking? What are those things?
They don't twitch and they don't shake hands, unless they have Parkinson's.
Okay.
If it is Parkinson's, then they will be shaking, yes. And all that. Well, it starts with change of behavior. You will notice that the person is no longer, or the person the different kinds of behavior. If they used to be quiet, they may become garrulous. If they used to be garrulous, they may become quiet. Then they may be losing their temper unnecessarily. They may be suspecting. They may be untrusting. They may, they will. For instance, it got to a stage where the husband does not trust the wife anymore. He says the wife
wants to kill him,
or the wife wants to spend all his money, And, these little things cause tension in the family. Or he says the children are not respecting him enough. And then he starts being harsh, or wants to beat them up or something, and that's not normal. That's not normal
for the person.
And it's not normal in the family, and the family is confused. What's happening to this guy, And all sorts of behaviors, and then he may become depressed. Then the doctors will say his depression. They'll give up all sorts of antidepressants. He may become very active, Then they will start giving, they will say, oh, okay, go and see a psychiatrist. They will now start giving them psychotropic medications that will keep them down. He may start having insomnia. He doesn't sleep at night.
Yes.
And, you know, especially in the evenings, you know, they are more active. They will just get up. They don't sleep all night. Then you may now start, you know, as it progresses, as it gets worse, you may now see them hallucinating.
I wanted to ask that question.
You know, they may start hallucinating, and you are wondering what's happening. And they will be telling stories that you cannot relate with. And so in the family, you will say he's lying. To him, he's not lying. That's his reality. But you see how it you know, tears families apart when there is no understanding, when people don't know what is happening.
Yes.
It can tear a whole family apart.
Yes.
And they start, you know, so many things. Then they will now start forgetting things. Memory loss. Then they will now start not being able to do things they used to do. Like my brother was a fantastic artist. And when I read about it and I knew, I put him to test, asked him to draw something. You found that he can no longer draw.
Oh.
He can no longer paint. He can no longer draw.
He loses all of the things that he used to do.
Then he cannot longer write. Even using ordinary phone, he cannot, you know, use a phone. He cannot dial, or if you dial, you know, answer properly. You know what I mean? Yes. So all those little things, he cannot sign his signature. He cannot read. He was a philosopher. So his whole house was full of books in English, in German, in French. But he takes a book now, he cannot read. You know, so he loses all that. And if it is, he was a chef also.
Wow.
And he will tell you he wants to cook. What do you want to cook? He tells you what he wants to cook. You go and get all the ingredients. Okay, let's go to the kitchen and cook. And he's standing there wondering. We turn back, say, tomorrow we'll try tomorrow.
We'll try to do it.
You find that. And because you're with him, you can see that he doesn't know what to do, but he also knows that something is wrong and it bothers him, but he can't express it. You know? So many things like that until the end.
And then I also read.
Yes.
I also read, and I've also experienced, where people would be wanting to take off their clothes. Yeah,
that's it. They lose inhibition. You see?
They lose inhibition.
Because we were born stark naked. And we didn't know how to put on clothes. It was people, our parents, our carers, that put on clothes for us, isn't it?
Yes.
And taught us how to
eat, everything.
How to wear clothes, how to buckle your shoes, how to tie your tie when you're in age 11. You know, you want to go to school, how to tie your tie properly, how to buckle your shoes, how to tie your shoelace. It was society, it was the family, it was mother, father that was teaching you, not the child. Now, when they have lost it, it's a regression to childhood. And you know, like any little child, if you've raised children, even when you have dressed them up, you see them pulling off their clothes, don't you?
Yes.
They start pulling off their nappies. They start pulling off their clothes because it's alien to them. And you have to socialize them. Keep it on.
Yes.
Keep it on. You do not go out without it, without your pants and knickers and things like that. So when they get to that, they have forgotten, I would say, using layman's language. They have forgotten, they have regressed so they don't know. They don't even know that they are removing their clothes. So he can come out of his bathroom or bedroom and just be walking away. He's not even aware that he's not.
Yes, there's no
clothed.
sense of self-awareness anymore. Yes. And the other thing, two things that I want to ask. One, with this taking off of clothes, if peradventure they were outside without a caregiver with them,
you don't need to ask questions. It's a madman.
It's a madman.
So that is what they were suffering from.
It's a madman.
They will say, see this madman. And they will treat him like a madman. And when they are asking him questions, because he's disoriented, because he doesn't know where he's coming from or who he is or where he's going to, and he's talking, things that people
almost
don't understand, gibberish, or talking things that people don't understand, they will say he's mad.
Yes.
Or worse, he's a witch.
As a witch or a wizard.
Because when the crowd meets them,
yes,
everybody is throwing questions at the person at the same time.
Yes.
And he cannot handle it. He cannot, the person cannot handle it. He cannot, you are asking one person, one voice is saying, where are you coming from? The other place is saying, where did you go to? The other place is one that is saying, who are you? It's so much confusion in their head. Ooh, they are just hearing us. They don't know. The another one will say, hey, I'm sure you went to eat a
human being.
You went to eat a human being in Lagos. He say yes, so yes, I go. Yes, not true, I go. You see, he's confessing. They will say he's confessing.
Yes,
that he said that we didn't do. There's a woman I met. She was wandering. Then somebody took her to the police and called me, because when they called me when things like that happened. So I ran to the police and saw the woman. Then they were asking her. Nobody could make sense of what she was saying. So I now took her. They asked her, where are you from? She said she's from Sapele. How did you come from Sapele? I waka now. Tell me, how can you waka from Sapele to Benin?
At this point,
it's not possible. So it's not true. But the people will either say she's lying, or she's a witch, or she's mad. But I will know that she has dementia. Yes.
A few weeks ago,
then I now took her to television house, so that the family would get in touch.
See her. Yes.
And then they got in touch and came to me, and then we took her home. And she just wandered off. They were there, but nobody was paying particular attention when she strolled away.
Almost like with children. When
almost
you don't
like
pay
children.
Attention to children,
they will
just wander
away.
off and you say, where was that child?
Yes.
This child was here a few minutes ago.
Yes. And another thing with people with dementia is this wanderlust.
Yes.
They have wanderlust. They just like to walk. So I know somebody that walked from here to Lokoja, walking. From here to Lokoja, was found in Lokoja.
Somebody was
from Abuja.
Somebody was found from somewhere in the southwest to Abuja.
He was walking.
He had become wet and everything, so the person wore him his own clothes. God knows if he was really from southwest, and put it on social media to say, look, let us get this man back to where he's coming from. It's interesting. It's scary.
It's scary.
Interesting and scary, and we need to have enough information out there. Like you said, enough research first of all, and then with the family. Now, your foundation has been described as a comprehensive center for addressing most of the challenges that people encounter naturally in the course of growing up. What strategies have you been employing to make sure that you achieve favorable results?
Well, knowing that loneliness, isolation can trigger dementia, the first thing I wanted to do was to make sure that older people in the community do not suffer from loneliness and isolation. And, you know, because the times have changed, if it was in the past, where I come from, every 4 days is market day.
Yes.
And every market day, every woman goes, whatever she has, if it is pot, if it is food, if it is whatever, a goosey, but anything she got from the farm, she's carrying it to the marketplace.
And there will
and
be
when she gets there, there is interaction. She's buying, she's selling, people are talking, they are fighting, they are quarreling, they are laughing, they are, you know, every 4 days they are gossip in the community. The men are also in one corner drinking their pami, and they are talking, they are, you know, drinking their palm wine in the other part of the market. So there was that communal place for interaction.
Yes. And
also in quarters, you have, spaces. You have spaces, town, village squares, where they can go in the evening. They finish all their work, especially the men, everything they are doing. They will go and sit on the logs there, yes, and they are interacting. They are seeing themselves on a daily basis. But with modernity, everybody is now on their own. You build your house, you fence it. In those days, we never had fences.
No fences.
So while I'm cooking, I'm shouting to my neighbor on the other side. She's going to the stream. I say, wait for me, oh. You carry your bag, and, you know. So going to the stream was also a communal activity, because you don't go alone to the stream, so that the fairies don't catch you. So you go in a group. So there was that grouping and that communal interaction that kept people sane better. But now you have tap. What are you going to the stream to do? You have everything inside your house. You don't go to the market. The market, they have a shop. You just buy what you want to buy, enter your car and go. So you find that the older persons who are now in the villages, in their homes or in the houses that their children have built for them, with kirikiri high fences around them, with electric wires, so that nobody can come in. So they are there alone, you know, on their own. They cannot, and the next thing, they will be thinking about their world. Hey, is this what it is now? A lot of thinking. Depression can come.
Yes.
It can lead to dementia and all that. So the first thing I wanted to do was, how do we prevent it, or slow it down, or, you know, because it is possible. So we now built the Ignatius Akubude Center. My brother is Ignatius Akubude, so I built it in his name.
Yes, Josephine Akubude.
Yes.
That's the name that I remember.
Yes. So he's, built the center in his name. And so the whole community. This place is free for you. Come and interact. Come and socialize. Play games. Meet friends. Do whatever you want to do.
It's non-residential.
Non-residential. I'm coming to what I do with those who cannot come. We also extend our services to those who do not come. So those people who come, we organize. We haven't seen this mama for some time. They say her leg is so painful, she can't walk again, she can't come out again. I said, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you, go and stay with her. So we go and then sit with them. You will see some of our visits. We sit with them, we laugh, we joke, and they will be so happy. Hey, you remembered us. I say, why? We can never forget you, and we enjoy. If we have things we share, And that's how we
taking
do
them back to the community, the things that
yes,
they were used
so
to.
that so they don't feel
the
abandoned,
sense of isolation,
and isolated, and that nobody cares for them. So we take that to them, the very old ones that cannot come out again, or very frail ones that cannot come, or very sick ones. Then the ones that are still able, who are still agile, still very independent, they come out and they look forward to it. And we do not forget spiritual matters.
Important.
We don't forget that, because it is very, very important. And at the stage where we are, we have passed gross material issues now.
Yes.
We'll be thinking of more
higher level,
eternal, you know. Yes. And then, so we have such discussions and trying to make ourselves right with God.
Yes.
So that when you are dying, you will die with a beautiful smile. It will be a going home. It will be a going home.
Wonderful.
Not that you have a baggage. You are quarreling with this person. You have something with the other person. No. So we try to do that. So, and they are catching up. They are very happy. I keep telling them, we are on our way out. You must accept the fact that one day you will be no more.
Because it's an inevitability.
It's an inevitable end. So don't be afraid of it. Just prepare to have a happy exit.
Yes.
So that when we are going, we go with a dance and a smile.
Yes, that's good. Now we've talked about all of these things, and they come with challenges, not only to the person who's manifesting or exhibiting, but to the people around.
To everybody. You see, Alzheimer's dementia is not like headache.
Yes.
I remember I was having a baby. And I was in the...
You still do remember?
I remember when I was having the baby. I was in the ward, labor ward. And I was having this pain. And it was a reverend sister that was, caring for me. So she said, what? I said, pain. She said, if you can't take it, let me know so that I can give you medication to ease the pain. So the cramp came again. And I said, sister, you know how it is? She said, no, I don't know. I've never experienced it. So you have to tell me. What am I saying? Headache, pains are personal. It's only you that is experiencing it that knows what it is. But with dementia, it is not personal. You, your spouse, your partner, your caregiver, your children, your relatives, friends, everybody is involved. The least number of people that will suffer it are three. The person that has it, the person that is caring, and the person that is providing the finance, because it's a very, very expensive.
You've brought me to one very important area. Not only...
So 3 people are involved in this one disease.
Yes.
Minimum. But normally, it's the whole community.
Yes.
Everybody should be involved. That's why we're also trying to create community-friendly spaces. Yes. Let the community, that's why we are talking about it. So if everybody understands, so when the person has dementia comes along, the community people understand that it is
and
dementia.
They will say, no.
Yes,
they will say, no, it is not witchcraft.
It is not witchcraft.
Traveled overnight and couldn't go back
and the person is not mad. It is dementia, and they will support. So the whole community must be able to stand up and support the people with dementia and their societies.
One of the most important things is the understanding, first of all.
Understanding, knowing
by the community, knowing how it manifests and how the community can come together to help to minimize this. You've talked about the money. How do we cope? Is Nigeria equipped to deal with all of these expenses, not only of dementia, but other health challenges that older people face?
Well, that's policy. We are coming to policy now, and we have to lobby the policymakers, and it's also what we are talking about, understanding that old age is inevitable. You are a director, you are a policymaker now, you are young, but you are praying every birthday. The prayer you get is long life and prosperity, isn't it?
Yes.
And you will say amen. So you will get that long life, and you will become old. If during your working period or the time you had the opportunity to make old people comfortable when they are old, you are going to
make sustainable policies.
Yes, you are going to get there. So when you are doing your budget and you are not putting enough money in the health sector, and the little that is in the health sector, you think it's only for childhood and mortality and maternal issues, maternal health, you are going to get it. Now, most older people have what they call non-communicable diseases, which includes things like diabetes. It must come.
High
blood pressure, it must come. Arthritis, it must come. And they don't have any budget. They don't have anything to accommodate all these NCDs. And we're saying, no, why? And so it's not only even dementia. And again, most people who have dementia, most of them will even have all these comorbidities.
Yes.
You know? So we really have to wake up as a people and as a government and
as
know
the people who make these policies
and know that we need to have a safety net for the vulnerable ones. You know, aging is a wide spectrum. There are old people who are very rich, like President Bola Tinubu. He doesn't need your money, even if he lives to be 200. Do you understand? Like President Buhari them, Obasanjo them. They are all old people, but they don't need your money when they are this age. But there are vulnerable people. There are people who have worked all their lives, retired, they can't even get their pension.
And then
there are pensions that cannot even take them from the pension, from where they collect the pension to their house.
I mean, yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
We must be human.
These.
We must review all this. I was
talking to one older person, and he says it is, he shudders to think of his pension at his age.
Yes.
He has done this, been this, the pioneer this, pioneer that, and he gave his all.
Yes.
And then when he sees how much it is on paper, it is with pain.
It is heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. And he talks about wickedness.
It's also wickedness in high places. And we are talking about corruption. How do we fight corruption? We can only fight corruption when we have put in place frameworks or policies, things that will ensure that nobody is afraid of retiring. Nobody is afraid of getting old. Because all this grab is so that once I leave work, so that I will see what I will eat until I die.
Yes, yes. So that there has to
so
be
that yes. So but if you know that if there is safety net, you know that even when you retire, your pension money can feed you, can pay for your prescriptions, and it will come as when due. What concerns you with grabbing more than you need? That is the root of corruption, and that is our bane in this society. We need to address it.
And
we must have
maybe
safety.
The policymakers, like you said, they don't really think about the future. They don't think too much into the future.
Myopia. It's myopia.
Now, just quickly, what is your perception about ageism? Not ageism generally, but ageism as it concerns women, as an expert, as an advocate, an activist of women issues. What do you think? Does it indiscriminately affect women, disproportionately
you know
affect
that,
women?
You know, this ageism is systemic. It is endemic, it is cultural, and that is what we are advocating and trying to change perceptions and concept, as we go along. Do you understand? Because before now, once somebody is old, they think the person is spent.
Yes.
The person is of no use. The person is, they expect you to be decrepit. Even when you are talking about as it concerns women, even women themselves practice ageism against themselves. You will see a woman who is 60, will tell you that she's old. She herself will be telling you that she's old. And
self-deprecation.
And you are telling her, well, this me, old woman like me, who they look me, who is looking at me. Nobody is doing ageism against that person, or is that person against him? Like some people will come in, say they want to tie her tie. They say, don't tie her tie, your hair is good. You say, no, don't you know I'm an old woman, I must tie my hair tie. Who do am? Not being talking by himself.
Yes.
So we just have to keep educating, education, and raising, encouraging people to have confidence in themselves.
Yes.
Don't let people put you down.
Yes.
But first of all, don't put yourself down. Clean yourself up as a woman. Stand well, talk well. Stop doing old mama. If you do old mama, they push you by the side.
Yes. Yes.
So you can be 75 and be looking 40 or 35. Like some people that I'm looking at.
That you know. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're on to 65. Yes, thank you very much. Now, let me ask you some personal things, because I think we've talked. People know what Alzheimer's dementia, all of those things, the hallucinations. I even had a cousin of mine who used to say that people were talking to him out of the television screen. I mean, then they talk to. People, they come now to come kill me.
Yes.
Maybe some signs of schizophrenia, maybe.
Yes.
All of those things interrelated, we know. And we know how we should begin to see these signs and care. But the most important thing is the loving and caring for people with different levels of challenges.
I call it tender, loving care. That's
TLC.
all they need. TLC. They don't. It's not about medication. It's not about any other thing. But because yes, they have dementia, but they know. With my experience, they know. When you are loving, you can see. You may not be able to verbalize it, but when you look into his eyes, you can see the gratitude. You can see the appreciation from his eyes when you look deep into his eyes. I'm talking about my brother.
Yes.
But you may not be able to say, by the time he had lost thank you, a speech, when he could no longer say thank you,
you could see
I could see it, which means he knows. And when he's agitated, frustrated because he cannot express himself, and now he's just showing frustration, and I come and hold him and I start singing to him, you will see we calm down. So he doesn't need medicine, restraint or anything. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need physical restraint. All he needs is tender, loving care
for everybody around. Now, personal things.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Before, it used to be yam. Now, I don't even know again.
That's how it be for me too. What's your favorite holiday spot, either here or abroad?
My favorite holiday spot. Do you know, to tell you the truth, I've never had a holiday in my life.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you.
Nigerian
I'm
person.
telling you, I will travel all over the world to go and do holiday. Do you know what I end up doing?
No.
Shopping. No holiday. Just you shop. You are there. You are thinking of your business here.
Yeah.
You are on the phone.
Or the people that you want to give things.
All the people you want to buy things for. And my shoulder is heavy with the load I'm carrying. Excess baggage. Which kind of holiday be that? I've never had holiday. Then, then now, I think my favorite holiday spot, I don't know, just anywhere can be your favorite. I don't want to go anywhere else except where I am happy.
Yes.
Ignatius,
and you're happy there because I see the things that
Ignatius
you do.
could be this center.
With the women.
Yes, that's
we
where.
Want chop Oyinbo today, bread and butter. Can you imagine? That's wonderful. One thing you cannot do without every day. Yeah. And why?
One thing I cannot do without every day, and why? Bath. You must have a bath. Because if you don't, you know, in this our weather, you know, you feel uncomfortable, and you don't want to inflict other people with your so
with your BO, if there's any.
There must be if you don't bath. Because you perspire. So you must have your bath, and you know, be clean so that you can interact with people. And then my perfume.
Okay. And prayers, because you were talking about the spiritual
No, that one is for, you say what I cannot do without. So I was thinking of material you know, things. I mean, physical things. Physical things. Yes, thinking of it. No, you cannot do without. Prayer is all the time. For me, is every minute prayer. If I'm not doing any other thing, I'm praying.
Yes. You
are praying because there are things, there's so much to pray for. Not for God give me clothes or give me food or give me, no. You pray for other people. There are people in problems. There are people in so many, the country. There are your community. There's so much unrest. There's so much insecurity. So it's prayer every day. God, please save us, save this country, save our children.
Every minute.
Every minute. So it's not, prayer is not morning, evening thing anymore. It's every time. Continuous. Yes. And another form of prayer that I enjoy, that I do always, is called gratitude.
Yes. Prayer of gratitude.
Gratitude. I'm always saying thank you, Jesus. I'm always saying thank you, God. Yes. Every time. Because even as we need so many things, even as things are not going well, there's a lot He's doing for us. In all the insecurity, we are still secure. Yes, thank you, God.
Thank you.
In all the morning all day, we are still able to buy a few things to eat. Thank you, God.
Yes. Do you have any regrets? Anything that you say, I wish I hadn't done?
I did what I want to do. Could be good, could be bad, but that's what I want to do, and I did it. I'm sorry.
And so you are living with it?
I'm living with it.
Okay. Favorite song? Favorite song?
Favorite song? So many. Burna Boy. I become one person.
Awesome. And as a researcher, as an advocate, what's your best book? Best book, favorite book?
My favorite book? I just read everything I see, and I like reading. I like reading. And but now, my reading has been
curtailed somewhat?
No, has been, yeah, curtailed towards the subject that I'm passionate about, and that is aging, dementia, Alzheimer's. So anything I just see, I will read. So all those other Mills and Boons and all those things or literature books, they are just decorating my shelves now.
With your center, with all the things that you have done, what is the legacy? What is it that you want to be known for? What do you think you're going to pass on to the coming generation? Because you remember, we're talking about the intergenerational discourse that will make those of us who are here now to live fulfilling lives. What's the legacy?
When people talk about what's your legacy, for me, I don't set out looking for legacy. Do the right thing. Do what you think is right and what you believe in doing, and leave a mark there. Then when you have gone, it can be your legacy. I don't get up, I want to I want to create awareness about Alzheimer's. I want to teach people like that and say that will be my legacy. No. If I succeed, then I think it will now be what I will be remembered for. Do you understand? And it could be any other thing, sometime, something else. Like when I went to read law, I went to read law because I saw the injustice against women, the oppression against women. And I said, no, I'm going to read law so that I'll be able to start defending women. And I will start taking men to court who do nonsense to their wives, whether they're pro bono, whether the wives can afford or not, whether they want. I start dragging men to court and get them to, do the right thing,
be more
justice
responsible
to their wives and the women around them. So that was what propelled me to read law. Then I jammed the politics and saw what they were doing to women in politics. And I said, no, I'm going to go to politics and mainstream women into politics. You see, that was my drive. And while I was doing that, I met one lady, because for me, politics, my constituency in politics was women. It wasn't a partisan. It was any woman in any politics. Yes. So I met one woman called Olujimi, Biodu Olujimi. Yes. She was in another party. I met another woman called Stella Dorgu. She was in another party. I called them, say, oh yeah, come. Let us join hands and fight this thing. So we, 3 of us, co-founded the Women Foundation of Nigeria to fight for women's cause. So I've been at that, doing that until I became old. And I started seeing...
You are not old?
I am
not
old.
Yet?
No. I became older.
Okay. I
now saw what older women are going through. I said I will fight for older women. I'm still fighting for young women. But now, my vision has expanded from thinking that when you talk about women, you are talking about 18 to 35-year-olds. Now, my vision is telling me that when you talk about women, you are talking about teenage women, you are talking of young women, you are talking of middle-aged men, you are talking of older women.
And the fact that all
of us are women. And our issues are the same.
Do not change.
Because if you get a poor young girl who didn't go to school, who didn't have anything going for her, all probabilities she's going to end up being a poor older woman. That's it. So we have to start taking them from there and lifting them up until we get to the older women, and make sure that the older woman is not relegated, discriminated against, discarded.
Not shoved aside.
And not shoved aside. and that justice is meted out to her. I mean, you know, she enjoys justice, equity, and everything.
And that means that the mainstreaming of women is not only at a particular
level.
point in time.
You see how my vision has expanded.
Yes. Wow. I would have loved to just talk and chat with you, but time is not our friend. And it's now time to draw the curtain on today's program, 65. I'm sure you've had an insightful, enjoyable, educative time talking to my friend, my sister, Iyom Josephine Anenih MNI. Thank you very much for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's episode of 65. Please join us on our social media handles: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Kindly follow, share, like, leave a comment on today's episode, and please let us know what other topics on the challenges of aging and issues of aging that you would like us to discuss. Your thoughts and inputs are important to us. Bye for now.